Hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of our shooting program, and welcome to today's show. We're so glad to have you with us because, friends, we want to show you how guns are safely used and intelligently used, hopefully, here on our program. You know, as we speak, we as shooters and gun owners are losing the battle to retain our gun rights. All through our society, we're losing the battles of free speech, and a whole lot of different things are happening to us now, but we're especially concerned about our loss of firearms freedoms. Now, friends, this is something that is ongoing, and please, when you see our sponsors, our commercials here on the program, please remember that these folks are helping to keep us on the air, as certainly are some of your contributions. We really do appreciate your help out there, because due to your contributions and our sponsors is how we can bring this program to the rest of America. Friends, it has got to be done, because right now, like I said, we are losing our rights. A lot of people in the shooting industry don't have a clue about what's actually happening. They don't understand that this is going to affect all of us, unfortunately. A lot of our good conservative folks out there don't have a clue what is really going on. And all you have to do to find out what's going on is do a little digging, just keep your eyes and ears open and pay attention, and you can see that there is a terrific onslaught coming from, call them what you want, but it's the New World Order, your one world government types, your socialists who want to control every aspect of our lives. Now, what we're going to do about it? We're not going to sit still for it. We have got to stand up now, friends. If we don't now, you don't have to worry. It'll be too late later on. And it's got to be done now, and this is one of the reasons we have fought so hard to stay on television and keep delivering our message. Friends, this socialism thing, this New World Order thing, it's not in the future. It's here now. It is here, and the things we're seeing coming out of Washington, coming out of our State Department, the government things that are going on, the lunacy, the goofy things going on in the major media. It is 100% stacked against us as gun owners, as shooters, even as free thinkers. Tell you what, folks, we are in trouble. We are seriously, we as a country, we as independent-minded Americans, we are under attack. And it's not with guns at the present time, but let me tell you what, we are under attack through all sorts of areas in the major media, in the court systems, in so many areas. The educational system now, in many areas, has taken it upon itself to alienate our young people against firearms. Now, friends, this is going on. And the NEA, the National Education Association, the Teachers Union, is right in there with the project to relieve us as Americans from our firearms. And friends, this is happening. Please, if you can, please support our program. Any donation you can possibly send to the shooting show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Dubberly, Louisiana, the zip code 71024. Our phone number, if you'd like to call and talk to us, area 318-377-5189. If you would like to talk about advertising, you can call Bobby, area 903-693-5097. We appreciate any help we get, certainly. Also, please remember our sponsors, because they are standing with us to help get the truth out to as many people as possible. We have a great show for you today. We're going to do some cowboy action shooting on today's program. We're going to start with our single action revolver, have some targets set up out here, get our hearing protection in, my hearing protection in better. Let's let another shooting show begin. Well, friends, here we are down on a range down below Shreveport, Louisiana. This is our good friend Harold Terry, whom you have seen, a number of you have seen on our program before. And Harold, it looks like you got on, that's your Western outfit, right?
This is my shooting garb that I have for cowboy shooting.
Well, friends, and I do want to mention our good sponsor out there, Olson Brothers. Have got to keep my hat clean, yes. Harold. Olson Brothers and Lynch Hat Works out in Spokane, Washington have sent me my Western get-up. And I tell you, it is great. Now, Harold, tell me something. First of all, friends, let me say that Harold Terry is one of the real experts that I happen to know, and I can say this on camera because he's not going to argue with me on camera, but it's true. Harold, thousands and thousands of people have been to your shooting exhibitions over the years. No question about that. Certainly one of the real experts that I have the pleasure to know. And of course, you and I actually met. I came through your personal defense school back years and years ago, many years ago. And of course, we became friends out of that. And of course, Harold was very encouraging to me to get into more types of shooting and action shooting in particular. And of course, Harold, you've been an IPSC or action shooting competitor for many years, but you're doing a different kind of action shooting now, right?
Totally different, Johnny. It's two phases of it. One is the dress that you wear, and the other the guns that you shoot.
And you know, we talk about the dress you wear. Of course, we're talking about cowboy action shooting, and we have several guns here. We're going to be looking at some single action revolvers, this Winchester lever action rifle, and of course Harold is going to have the best equipment that he possibly can. This is a Winchester, a real original model 97 pump shotgun, which is probably the premier gun in cowboy action shooting as far as the shotgun goes. But they're interesting memorabilia here. But tell me, Harold, the clothing is very important, isn't it?
Very important, Johnny. Around the latter part of the 1800s, there's the clothing that we wear, the shirts and the pants and the boots, the cowboy boots and the hat.
Well, now folks, here's some interesting stuff that I had never heard before. You're saying that, of course, you've done some research on this. You're saying that clothes didn't come in sizes until after the Civil War.
During the Civil War.
Everybody's clothes were tailor-made, and you just couldn't go in a store and look, so I want a medium or a large or an extra. That wasn't there, was it?
That's right. It came with the war that they had the uniforms that they had to put together, and from that came to our sizes that we know now pretty well fit us. Some of them are a little small in the waist, you know, but
well, let's be careful before we start criticizing waist sizes. But I'll notice, just like on your shirt here, you have the garter to hold your shirt sleeves in place.
Well, they made them in different sizes, and so that we would get the right size. Sometimes the sleeves are down to here, and they wore the garters now. And they weren't sissies. No. They wore garters to keep the hands where they could use them. And another interesting thing, Johnny, the shirt tail comes down to nearly about your knees. And at the night, the cowboy would just take off his pants, and he'd have his night shirt. And I assume that's where the name came from.
Long shirt.
And they're loose in the shoulders for working and for whatever the cowboy needed to do. The hat is another. You have one wider brimmer than I, but the hat was a very important item that they never took it off. When they got up in the morning, they put it on and they wore it all day long. If they were whatever, but they never took the hat off.
They really didn't. The hat, and as we talked with G.J. Carter out at, he was a guest on our radio show a while back, we were talking, and we've seen the picture of the cowboy watering his horse. Yeah. They did it. I mean, they actually did it. And if there wasn't a bucket for his horse, he'd water his horse in his hat.
There wasn't any three-wheelers or four-wheelers back then. That horse was your only mode of transportation, and they took care of that horse. They saw that horse was fed and was taken care of and was watered, and that's what the hat was used for. The saddle they used for their heads that we've seen in a lot of picture shows, a lot of movies, for a pillow. And everything. Now, the cowboy boots that we see today are low cut, but back in those days they wore a boot that came up to your knees, and they wore the pants down inside of it so they wouldn't wear the pants out rubbing on the saddle leg, the stirrups, that fletching above the stirrup. So they all had a reason for whatever they do.
So very useful clothing. And I'll tell you what, friends, those of us who have spent a lot of time outside, a good hat is really an important item. I remember, heck, we had an IPSC match downtown one time down here, and it was doggone hot. It was in July or something. Here in Louisiana, humidity was about 120%, and it was so hot, sun beating out. So I just brought my doggone hat. I remember I was the only one. Well, you had yours on, and we were comfortable, and the other boys out there panting and carrying on heading for the shade tree. A hat is really a major deal. And again, I want to mention our good sponsor out there, Olson Brothers, that has a full lineup of hats and all kinds of original Western wear. And the good news is it's very affordable. Also remember those dusters are on, and I've seen these things as high as $250, and Olsen Brothers has them on for $100 for our viewing audience. So that's a tremendous savings, and these are real useful coats too.
If I'd have known you was going to dress up so nice in that hat, I'd have went and got me a better looking one than I wear every day down here on the range.
This is Tom Mix hat.
It is very. I remember Tom Mix wearing hats like that.
Well, you actually.
I knew Tom Mix was a boy.
That's not true, but you knew when you were a little boy, you knew Tom Mix.
Tom Mix was my hero.
And friends, if we said before, Tom was quite an original character, and I've said this on the show before, you know, if you do get a chance to see a real Tom Mix movie, and you see the bad guys jump, there's a reason that they did jump. They didn't have to be cued, because old Tom shot real bullets on the movie set. And, I mean, I don't know how many people they hurt or whatever, but and I understand the firewater did used to flow somewhat liberally on the set, and but today they could never do that. But still, he was quite a character, and he was a great hero. I mean, he was one of the great silent film stars.
That's the way people lived in those days. They were the hawks. Now we have a lot of doves.
Well, you know, Harold, remember when there were heroes? Remember when there were heroes? Today, hey, y'all think about this. Who do we have as heroes for today? I mean, think about it. You know, right now, the Citadel, I heard that military school up there in Virginia somewhere, they're having to take sensitivity training, so the ladies coming in will be treated a little nicer. We're all for treating the ladies nicely.
Ladies have a place.
No question about that. But it's gotten ridiculous, friends.
My mama and my daddy taught me how to treat ladies.
Yes.
I didn't have to go to school.
You didn't have to go to school to find out how to treat ladies. So, friends, what has our society come? I think this is one of the reasons this sport, incidentally, friends, this is the fastest growing segment in the shooting sports today.
It is, yeah.
Bar none. I went to an IPSC match, an action shooting match here a while, which I'm all in support of that game. But I think had 10 or 12 shooters, and the next day they had a cowboy match, had 50 shooters. I mean, the interest is, and one of the things about some of the shooting discipline, they're very intense, a lot of pressure. In cowboy action shooting, it's not that way, is it, Harold?
It's safety first,
safety,
and then the shooting, and the wearing of the attire. But safety is the main feature. We don't draw the guns out of the holster; they're placed at a location, and the shotguns are unloaded. The rifle is loaded, but there's none in the chamber. Right. The revolvers are loaded, but there's none sitting up under the hammer. No cartridge right up under the hammer. The safety is first, then the shooting, and of course the wearing of the clothing. But they have the women shoot along with the men, and the young men, the boys and the girls shoot, and it's a family sport, and that's why it's taken hold.
Because everybody can come out and have a good time. And you know, friends, if you've never been to a shooting match of any kind, it's some of the nicest behavior among competitors that I've seen people get in fights at church softball games. But on the shooting scale, people are polite. They're as nice as can be, and this carries through all the way across the shooting sport.
What I found, Johnny, is that the people there, if you say, "Well, that's a fine gun you have," they say, "Would you like to shoot it in the next match?" And they'll offer you their guns, their ammunition. When I went to Tyler and shot there, it sold me on the class of people that I met, and I came back and I've been shooting all types of guns, but the single action is, I think, it has such a history to it that I just enjoy it.
And there's something about the way these single actions, we know this gun is unloaded, there's something about their handling characteristics. Of course, they were made for utility, for personal defense. I mean, that's what they were made for. And honestly, friends, I think today the single action is somewhat discounted as even as a defensive gun because they're relatively simple. They're light for the power capacity they have, and their handling characteristics are really second to none. So, and they're just fun to use. And of course, for this kind of game, you actually need, since you can't have a fast reload, that's the only thing about a single action, you don't get a fast reload. So what do? You pull your second gun.
That's right. Fast reload, second
gun.
We know that.
That is your reload. That's right. Even in double action revolvers.
That's right.
Heck, 45 automatics, your fastest reload, pull the other gun.
Second gun.
Well.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
You know, friends, all of us as shooting enthusiasts should be subscribing to Shotgun News, the trading post for anything that shoots. 3 big issues monthly with literally thousands and thousands of firearms bargains. Give them a call, 1-800-345-6923, a very inexpensive subscription price. Again, 1-800-345-6923. Subscribe today. Well, friends, here it is. This is the great 1919 Browning machine gun. This is the A4 model, converted to semi-automatic by the good folks out at NWI. We've heard from some folks who've gotten these guns, and I tell you, everyone has been so enthusiastic, and they're very reasonably priced, certainly for what you're getting. Realize the guns come with a tripod here. They come with 500 rounds of ammunition included in the basic price there. This is a real piece of history, something that a lot of us would like to own. And trust me on this one, we're not going to be able to own these forever. We're not going to be able to get them forever. So if you've been thinking about getting one of these, I would certainly try and put it in my budget, try and put it in my future there, because I just don't see the availability of these guns for a long, long time. Certainly we can do it now. You have an opportunity. Also remember, they also have the great A6 version, which of course has a shoulder stock. You can even get a scope for these guns that of course they will shoot with remarkable accuracy. They are available in 30-06 chambering. They will be available in some other calibers. That's what they're out there working on now, is making them available in some other calibers. Remember that NWI has a tremendous deal on surplus ammunition. They will sell you linked ammunition for only 18 cents a round. That's $180 a thousand. This is a real bargain. But remember, this ammunition deal will not go on forever either. So friends, I tell you, this is really an opportunity to own a terrific collectible, to own a piece of U.S. history. This is one of the finest examples of John Browning's design genius, and they really are also, besides being historical, besides being a tremendous piece of equipment, they're also a lot of fun. Please give NWI a call today. Area 503-429-5001. Again, area 503-429-5001. 5001 NWI. Call about the great deals available. They'll even break up your payments, help you afford one of these very fine guns. And give them a call today, and please tell them that you saw it here on our shooting show. I am excited about this because we're excited about anything that promotes shooting and getting people out. I was down in Houston, Texas yesterday talking to a gun company, very fine outfit, and we had to go out, we had to go and field test some of their guns, and heck, we had to drive 30 minutes to get to an outdoor range. And this is a problem that some of us have around the country. They don't have enough places to shoot. Here in Louisiana, we're we're not very civilized, and there are a lot of areas to shoot, and this is a problem and we want to encourage people to develop places where folks can go out and shoot their guns and do things other than just paper targets. We have found it's very entertaining to shoot reactive or steel targets on certainly on our program, and we want to encourage we never come out without hearing protection, and never. In fact, when I rolled up a few minutes ago, Harold said, well, let's shoot a couple of guns, and I said, wait, let me go get my glasses, because I am not going to take that chance by a ricochet possibly, or powder, or whatever else. So we always observe the safety rules: eye protection, hearing protection. Well, sir, let's take a closer look at the guns that are your selection here is probably as good as anybody's selection in cowboy action shooting day. So let's take a closer look right now at some of the guns.
Johnny, if we can, let's start out with the short barrel 45 long Colt Ruger. Its name is the Vaquero. The good part of the safety factor is that it has a transfer bar up under the hammer, and the hammer has to be cocked completely back into the sear before the hammer transfer bar will drop down. So if the revolver would have 6 rounds in it and it would drop, it wouldn't shoot. That's the beauty of the Vaquero. Now this is a 4 and I think 3/4 or whatever. The other is a 7.5. You can see the difference in the two guns. Now the longer the sight radius from the rear sight to the front sight, the easier the gun is to shoot. So I keep the 7-inch barrel for my second gun in order that the targets are farther away from me. The 4 3/4 or 4 5, whatever this is, I shoot it close. It swings faster, and in that you can move along the targets faster. It is a very reliable gun. You can't do anything to the guns. You can't have any outside adaptation to them. The gun has the grip, and it comes there. You can put other grips on it, but you can't change it. You can't paint the front sight or do anything to it. You can't change the hammer. That's what cowboy shooting is so good, because price-wise, everybody buys the same gun and shoots it according to their ability. You can't buy the ability to shoot these single-action guns. The long Colt cartridge is a 215 grain, and it's pushed by 7 grams of 231 powder, and it's a fine projectile. It travels around 715 feet or 750 feet a second. Now, in your loading ports on the side, and you load it until 5, and then you stop and close the loading port, and then the cylinder won't turn. Then you don't shoot but 5 shots at a time with it. So we have 5 targets, and if I was going to shoot it twice, then I'd come and finish shooting with this one and lay it down. Then I'd pick up my 7-inch barrel and continue shooting. The Winchester rifle is also a 45 long Colt. It's best that you have your rifle and your pistol firing the same cartridge, from the expense and the reloading of it, or remanufacturing, or whatever you're buying. This is the Winchester with the 16-inch barrel, and it has a ring in the side. I was very pleased that I got this for Christmas from my wife. Santa Claus is still alive and well. And the accuracy of this rifle at 100 yards, Johnny, is great. You have your elevator here, and we know if we're 25 yards, it's in the second notch. At 50 to 70 yards, it's at the third notch. It's on back. I raise it up to the fourth notch, and it's accurate at 100 yards. We do shoot some type of matches with that. Now, the old 97 Winchester is a pump gun. The only two types of shotguns that you can shoot are the 97 Winchester pump or the double barrel. The short barrel, 22 inches, because it moves faster. The rifle has to be, it can be any length, but it has to be of the 97 Winchester with the hammer on it. The revolvers have to be 5-shot with a 38 caliber or larger.
Harold is talking about the 97 Winchester. Now, you said on the double barrel shotguns you can't have an automatic ejector.
No, sir.
All right, and the reason for this, for instance, just like we're talking about, this is actually a variation of the Model 92, I guess, Winchester. And these single action designs like this 97 Winchester, everything has to be of a design that was before 1900.
Yes.
Okay, and realize, friends, now these Rugers, like Harold was saying, these Rugers have a transfer bar for safety's sake with carrying 6 rounds in your chamber. On the Colt style, the Colts and Colt style guns, they should only be carried with 5 rounds because they didn't have, in times past, in the time of the Old West, they figured you knew enough about guns to know you don't carry a hammer down on a live round, because if you bump the hammer, it would shoot. It had just a little notch there. Some people call it the safety notch, but it was more for just an assist in loading. It was not ever designed to be a safety against impact. So the Old West guns were 5 shooters, so that carries over to the match now, right? All the revolvers are loaded 5 only.
5 only.
Because there are a lot of Ubertis out there, a lot of Cimarrons, some of the Army San Marco, EMF, some of the other, and certainly the Colts. Some people are shooting Colts. And they
Very
should.
fine gun, Johnny.
Fine gun.
The reason I have a Ruger is I can't afford a Colt.
Well, I think it's great because these Rugers are as good as anybody's gun going.
They are fine. I was saying that because Colts are expensive.
Well, you're looking at $1,000 versus $350.
That's right, and
I mean,
I can get 2 for 1.
Right, for you can buy 2 Rugers for what? That's right, and bullets for what you pay for a genuine Colt. And friends, for cowboy action shooting, the Ruger cylinder pins are going, with its lighter ammunition, they're going to stay in place. So for this type thing, it's just fine. If we were going to load these 45s up to some ground shaking velocities, then we're going to wire this thing shut.
That would be an idea.
But for our purposes here today, they're just fine and really a premier gun. Now then, as we were talking about the 97, the advantage here, I guess, the 97s have is it will unload itself easier than you can break a double barrel, right?
Well, we run tests on it, and those that shoot the double barrel can unload it just as fast as they can, because when they fire that shot, they break it open and tilt it up, and with this smooth case shotgun shell, it falls right out of there.
And of course, you're shooting bird shot. You're not shooting anything high.
Number 8s, and that's as high as we shoot, the heaviest shot we shoot. But the 97, I've shot a pump all my life, and I just like them better.
Well, a lot of your exhibitions over the years use the pump shotgun. And Harold's one of the few people that probably alive that can shoot clay pigeons with a 22 rifle. And of course, you had some actual field trials back in World War II, the last war we won big.
Good war.
The last one we won big. And you actually had to, shooting was kind of an important part of your daily routine, if I'm correct.
That's why I'm here today.
Well, because you actually could shoot. And
everyone should know how to shoot, Johnny.
Point well
taken. Take care of themselves.
Sure.
No one loves you like you do.
Stay tuned for more of The Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Friends, here it is, the great Georgia Arms ammunition. Notice these ballistic tip nozzler bullets in this Georgia Arms ammunition. You see, this is equivalent to a box of 20 for only $7.95. Now, friends, that is a terrific price for essentially custom-loaded ammunition. Of course, for the plain full metal jacket, it is much less expensive. Here's another tremendous bag of Georgia Arms ammunition, 7mm Remington Magnum, 20 rounds, only $17.95, loaded with these premium Nosler ballistic tips. I tell you, this is custom ammunition at a discount price. Tell you what, friends, the good people at Georgia Arms do understand what's going on in this country. They understand how important our gun rights are, and they're supporting us on this project. The good news is you can get absolutely superior ammunition at discount prices, whether you have a handgun or a rifle. If you want to take that big hunt, you can afford to practice with your rifle as well as use that same ammunition on the hunt because they are so reasonably priced. These are some of the nicest people we have ever met in this business, bar none, and they're down in beautiful Villa Rica, Georgia. So please, friends, if you would, you can get a free catalog with a free phone call. That's as good as the deal gets. A free catalog, free phone call, 1-800-624-6861. Again, Georgia Arms, 1-800-624-6861. And please tell them you saw it here on our shooting show. I'm wearing this full-length duster available from Olson Brothers, and this great hat, of course, from the Lynch Hat Works there in Olson Brothers out in Spokane, Washington. And I tell you what, friends, this is a tremendous cold weather coat, whatever you need a good strong coat for to stay warm. It would be great outdoors for any sort of work or just for show, or certainly it looks nice enough you can wear it to town on Saturday night if you want to. These are available for $100 to our shooting show audience. These great long dusters, and they're just terrific. They normally, I've seen these things go for as much as $250, and honestly that is a great price for our shooting show audience, so we need to give them a call. They also have these terrific hats that are handmade in all numbers of or assortments of styles or whatever else. These are very reasonably priced. What you need to do, you need to give Olson Brothers a call out there, and the Lynch Hat Works, of course, is inside Olson Brothers. Let me remind you, they also clean in block hats. If you got a hat you need worked on, they can do it for you. They have this little neat little newspaper type thing. You can give them a call, area 509-328-4617. And let me remind you, they have all sorts of accessories like colognes and spurs and all sorts of neat stuff. So friends, please remember, they're helping to keep our shooting show on the air. So if you need Western, authentic Western clothing at a terrific price, just give our friends out there at Olson Brothers a call. I'll give you that number again, area 509-328-4617, and please tell them you saw it here on the program. What? We've talked about the guns. We talked about shooting. How about let's do some shooting?
All right, I got some targets down there. These targets, Johnny, are smaller than you'll find at a cowboy shoot. Johnny, we're on the range about 30 or 40 feet from where we were, where the backstop and where we have these targets. Cowboy shooting is shot with targets from this size larger. This is a 12-inch gong here. That's a swinger. When you hit it, it swings and it gives you a mark on there. The beauty of steel is you don't have to go down and paste every time, and it's a faster moving situation. So we have a 12-inch gong. We have a 12 by 18 square here, or semi. Then we have an 2 8-inch gong, and then another 12-inch gong on the end. And you say, well, why, with you shooting large targets, why do you shoot small ones? If you can hit a small one regularly, as fast as necessary, then when you get on the range shooting in a match, it's a lot easier. You just swing the gun and shoot. So we work on this type. We don't start out teaching this style, this type, but we work on them until we get down to this, from larger than this down to this one, and then to the gongs. And we'll have two shooters. One starts at that end, one at this end, and we see who gets to the first, shoots the most of them. So looking at your sight, as I know you've told people thousands of times, that I don't care what kind of gun you have, and that's just optics, I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about a regular rear sight and a front sight. You have to focus your eye on the front sight. If you and your vision can see the front sight sharp and clear, the rear sight is fuzzy and the target's blurry, you can shoot a gun. So you people are getting up my age or a little older, I wear trifocals in the top of my lens is for shooting at using the top lens to see my front sight. It improved my shooting 100%. Before I got it, I just like shooting in the dark. But these are the gongs that we have, and we'd like to load up a few and shoot a little and show you how it works. All right, Johnny, I have the short barrel 45 long coat, and I'm going to load 5 cartridges, or we call them rounds. And as I was talking about the safety aspect of this cowboy shooting, the gun is down on an empty chamber and you don't have one in your holster. The command is on a buzzer, and then you start shooting and they time you for accuracy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from left to right on this, and I'm going to be shooting two-handed. I'm going to hold the gun in my left hand and pull the trigger, and I'm going to cock it with my right thumb. So as we're going, the buzzer goes, and you scoop the gun up in this fashion, Johnny, and you bring it up and you cock it. Now you're looking at the front sight and you squeeze the trigger. Then you squeeze the trigger on the wide one, and we're going to shoot them on. While we're looking, oh, we killed that sucker, didn't we? And then the gun is unloaded, and we've killed the 8-inch gongs. Now, in ejecting these shells, Johnny, if you'll kick them out with your ejector rod and then pull them with your thumb, you have them all, the gun's unloaded.
Friends, of course, now realize that yours truly is just learning about cowboy action shooting, and it's something that I think is an awful lot of fun to do. A lot of us are shooting with two hands like we would any other sort of handgun, but there's also a class, I believe, called the duelist, and they hold the gun out with one hand and shoot like so, which I shoot equally as good or bad with either hand, you know. So we'll just hold the gun like so. Actually, Harold, I looked up and got a hit that time. Okay, go to that target over here, and that's called a miss. But anyway, you got to look at that front sight. So, there we go.
Good one, Johnny.
And like so. And that's 5. But whatever class you want to compete in, the duelist, I suppose, is a little more true to how the old timers actually did it. Harold, realize, let me ask you this. Did the Old West, what we call gunfighters, or people that were very adept with the gun and used them to shoot other people, they didn't go out and walk out in the street at high noon and do this number here, did they?
I don't believe for everything that I've read, it never happened.
Never happened, friends. That was invented by the movies.
What they did, they hid behind a tree. And those that were bounty hunters, and they'd shoot the fellow in the back when he rode by, or either they'd try to catch him asleep or drunk. And the sheriff, when he'd walk in a bar and the fellow was at the other end of it, that's why they cut the barrels off of the shotguns, that he'd just shoot down there. He might hit 3 or 4 other people, but that was a tough load for standing there.
Difficult times.
That's right, and he killed them. And there used to be an old sheriff here in Caddo Parish named Mr. Lake Alexandra. He was a one-armed sheriff, and he'd take a horse with him. And he'd go up to the door and he'd say, you can come 2 ways, either riding that, sitting up, or either I'll throw you over and tie you.
And I mean,
they were tough people.
Well, but then you also had you really had order too, didn't you?
That's right.
You didn't have a crime problem in the Old West. I mean, it just wasn't there, was it?
Well, what basically happened is that if they would hire a real bad gunfighter, which you'd say, and make him sheriff, and that would quell the problem. A lot of the rangers were people that were expertise with their guns, and they saw the light before they dropped them through that hole.
That's right.
And then but that's what they needed to fight that. And today we don't think that way, and I guess it's right because society has passed us on by, and we're living in another era now. And
well, we're living, unfortunately, in an era that is stranger than the era of the Old West. And Harold, at some point the pendulum has got to come back. It's got to swing back. Now, none of us wants brutality in society. None of us want police with powers that go beyond what are prescribed in our Constitution. But so many times now, people are arrested and convicted, and then they're not properly dealt with from that. And they get out on
their own recognizance.
Oh, that's right, on their own recognizance. And what they gonna do? They watching themselves. I mean,
and then they say the man right away. We can't find him now for him to serve his time.
Wonder why. But anyway,
be as it may.
Being as it may. Well, we're gonna shoot your rifle some there, and what we've had, we featured lever guns on the program before, and come to find out that they can be shot rapidly and accurately, darn near as fast as you can a semi-automatic. It takes a little more practice, wouldn't you say?
Yes, sir. The one thing that I'd like to show your viewers, Johnny, that I know they're all gun enthusiasts, is the gun's unloaded. Is that when you're shooting the gun, you bring it up and you pull it into your shoulder. And as you're levering the gun, you're pulling it back with your weak hand, and that keeps the gun operational all the time. As I saw you doing it before we started filming this, you pull the gun, the stock back into your shoulder, and you can operate it and don't have to you never take the rifle off your shoulder. Never.
Well, now, you actually shot a 30-30 one time, 6 shots in a very small group in about 30 seconds.
Yes, we were running some tests to see how fast you could shoot one with accuracy, and it's phenomenal what you can do with it. The gun, there's nothing wrong with the gun. It's the operator we have to train.
If I can borrow your gun for a second here, I saw we had someone on our program some time ago actually he was a gun writer. Friends, some of the gun writers are real good, and some others are not really very experienced with guns. And the magazines are fine and entertaining to read, but you have to take a lot of that stuff you read with a grain of salt. One of the larger magazines, you'll never see any malfunction or hear about or anything, and they all malfunction at one time or another. And you don't always get the truth in what those articles say. Well, I was watching this individual, and he was levering the gun, shooting the gun, and there's no one over here, we'll show. And he was levering, and every time he levered, he'd do this here. Well, heck, friends, that's not the way to do it fast and accurately. That's how to. So anyway, well, let's
Johnny, I'd like to make one correction.
Sure.
In that testing we were doing, I shot 6 shots in 6 seconds. That just for your TV audience. In 30 seconds, I could have.
I thought you were like 100 yards hitting an orange-sized target. 6 shots in 6 seconds.
And we were at 25 yards,
and
all in the head.
And they were accurate. Like I said, friend, the man actually really is a shooter.
Well, the boys that were down there shooting with me, they're going to come ask you what's wrong.
Was that on an off day or something? Well, I would think that was pretty spectacular performance for anything.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. Friends, I want to remind you about the first annual Earlene Mandrell Celebrity Shoot. It's going to be held June 27 through 29 in Evansville, Indiana at the Evansville Gun Club. The public is invited. For information, call them area 812-768-6370. You can fax them at area 615-230-7031.
Friends, these are the calibers that the Grizzly pistols are available for. Starting on the left, 45 ACP, 357 Magnum, the 10 millimeter, the 357/45 Grizzly Winchester Magnum, the 44 Magnum, the 45 Winchester Magnum, and the great 50 Action Express. Now, friends, that's a whole lot of calibers for one type of handgun. And also, friends, you can own one frame and get a number of conversion kits for your Grizzly pistol. Also, they have leather, magazine carriers, tremendous accessories for these great 1911 style Magnum semi-automatic pistols. Friends, these guns are well made, an excellent price for what you get for your money. Also remember that the good folks from Grizzly make the big bore single shot bolt action long range target and hunting rifle in 50 Browning machine gun caliber and products for a great company, friends. Give them a call, area 801-280-3505. Again, the LAR Manufacturing Company, area 801-280-3505 for information on their product lineup. And please tell them you saw it here on our shooting show.
Now?
All right.
Friends, we're going to come back next week and join Harold Terry again for some more cowboy action shooting, but due to time limitations today, we'll stop here and go on with myself and the judge. Friends, we hope you're enjoying our program today. I tell you, this cowboy action shooting is really something to it. We do want to mention our good folks in our shooting show support group, Custom Saddlery and Shoe Repair down in Denham Springs, Louisiana. That phone number is area 504. How about 667-9225? Again, 504-667-9225. They do all kinds of custom boot work, fixing soles on boots, custom saddlery. They even make harnesses for guide dogs. And this is a wonderful service there, Custom Saddlery. We do appreciate Dennis and Jeannie Ritchie there. We do want to mention, go on and send a postcard in, enter our gun giveaway. We're going to be giving away a Ruger 1022, and they're one of the finest 22 semi-automatics made by anybody. And what you need to do is send a postcard to me, Johnny Rowland, or the Shooting Show, either one, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Beverly, Louisiana, the zip code 71024. And just say the requirement to enter is just to say whether you see us on cable or on satellite. And we're going to have the drawing here, I don't know, maybe in a month, somewhere there on the program, and we'll send it to an FFL holder near you. And in fact, we're going to let the judge do the drawing there. I promise you it's going to be right. So we did want to mention that. Also, our Fun Gun Days at Clark Custom Guns on May 17 and 18. That weekend is going to be a pretty big blowout there. We're going to have all kinds of shooting matches going on. If you want to shoot in the IPSC match, if you want to shoot in cowboy action shooting, bring your guns. It'll be a shooting going on for both days. If we're going to have silhouette shooting, the small bore with 22 rifles. We're going to have Hunter's pistol on Sunday. Cowboy action shooting will be going on Saturday and Sunday. Earlene Mandrell is going to be down visiting with people, doing some shooting, certainly signing autographs. We're going to have a great show. Bill Jordan, great border patrolman, is going to be there. Just a wonderful person. He'll autograph your book for you. It's really going to be a tremendous day. Jerry Michelick's going to shoot. Kay Clark Michelick, current world champion IPSC shooter, is going to shoot. Jim Jr. is going to shoot. It's going to be a great time, huh, sir?
Yeah, and for those out-of-state people coming to Louisiana, be informed that carrying a gun in your automobile is not a concealed weapon unless it's concealed on your person. You can carry it in your car, in the truck glove compartment, under the seat of the car, on the seat of the car. in your trunk, whatever.
Just wherever, great.
As long as you don't have it concealed on your person, you're perfectly legal in this state.
I do want to mention, and you brought up something I certainly want to talk about, but friends, we need to bring to your attention that we still need your help. You know, this shooting program has we're probably the most politically incorrect show on television, and a lot of the major companies are afraid to take any sort of political stand. Heck, they're afraid of the government. They're afraid they may lose a contract or something. This is true. And you know, we have never said, we are 100% in support of our United States Constitution. The problem is, friends, a lot of the good conservatives out there just don't want to support something that we feel is absolutely imperative. Right now, as we're speaking, we are losing the battle to own guns and to shoot in this country. We are losing. If we don't do something, and we have a lot of ideas, we have some things we're going to be doing, but please, we still need your help. Whatever you can do, please send to the Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road, Beverly, Louisiana, 71024. If you'd like to talk about advertising, you can call me, 318-377-5189, or you can call Bobby, area 903-693-5097. But we still need your help. Friends, honestly, if we don't reach people on TV, we're not going to reach them. A lot of these companies can buy $20,000. Some of these magazine ads go for $20,000 a piece, and they'll buy in the magazines, but they won't take a stand with the public. They're afraid. I guess they're afraid, huh?
I don't know if they're afraid or just dumb.
Well, that's true. Some of the folks in the gun industry are some of the dumbest people on the face of the earth. We've been telling these people for years now, if you don't get active in TV, guys, you're not going to have a business. Of course, some of these folks just soon sell shoes or ice cream as guns, I guess. But friends, there's more to it than that. We're trying to keep the freedom aspect of us as citizens in place so we can be safe and secure in our homes and in our persons. We do want to compliment the good people in Mississippi. They've passed a law. If you have a gun permit in another state for concealed carry, they're going to recognize it in Mississippi. I heard about that a couple of days ago. And I think this is great. Reciprocity, huh?
Well, it's provided for in Louisiana law too, except that it's got to be approved that their qualifications and restrictions are at least as tight as ours.
Something else is being proposed here in Louisiana is a shoot the carjacker law, and this is receiving overwhelming public good reviews from the public, isn't it, Judge?
It got out of committee too.
Well, I saw one television poll last night, and it was 3-1 in favor of shoot the carjacker law and letting people. Why the heck not? Somebody walks up to the side of my vehicle, pokes a gun in my face, I'm going to do everything I can to relieve him of the next breath. I mean, and I think we all ought to have that right. You know, we're not talking about shooting people going down the road, but we're talking about if somebody's trying to rob you of your automobile, possibly may kill you, kidnap you, or you're someone in your family. I think we have every right to do everything we can, don't you, Judge?
Yeah, of course we do. I don't see that that's even open to debate.
Well, in some places it may be, but I do applaud our folks that are working on that now. Now, friends, we want to welcome a new sponsor to our program, and this is the Boresight Target Company. And they have literally all kinds of life-size targets, like this groundhog, like this turkey, even three-dimensional. See the head pokes out there. But and they're freestanding. They have a little kit there that comes with them that you can stand them up on the ground. It's very, very simple. And of course, you can reshoot these targets many times. Just a little masking tape to straighten it up. Of course, it'll stand. Just tape over your hole there and shoot it again. These are excellent quality targets. They have literally all kinds of animals. We've got a bear here somewhere. And also, we have certainly for the training academy type things, a lot of police officers watch this program, so you fellows pay attention. The Boresight Target Company has the best prices that I'm aware of, certainly very inexpensive for these high quality
cardboard targets. And some of you as police officers will be very familiar with this X-ring target here, and certainly this target here is commonly used by police officers in training. Also for self-defense academies where people are taking the concealed carry law, targets like this are very desirable because, heck, we need to know kind of where we're shooting if we're going to carry our gun in self-defense. Another thing they offer is shotgun patterning targets. You'd aim here at the little clay disc sticker or whatever they have stuck on. They have birds. This happens to be a clay disc, and this way you can tell where your shotgun is patterning. Really neat idea, and honestly, the quality is far away from what we've seen by many companies. It's excellent quality. Friends, here's what you need to do. Of course, realize they have deer and bear life-size targets, just like this turkey here, and they have rabbits and squirrels, and of course the pattern here gives it a 3D effect, and of course a little poke out head there. Anyway, you need to give Boresight Targets a call. Here's their number. They're in New Washington, Ohio. Their number is area 419-492-2175. Again, area 419-492-2175, or you can try their 800 number, 1-800-200-9690. Again, 1-800-200-9690. We really do appreciate their participation because they understand the importance of keeping information about shooting and guns, true information, on television, and this is the best way to do it on this shooting show. So friends, please give them a call. They have some great prices on these targets. You will not be disappointed. They're also very nice people, so we're going to support them because they're supporting us, helping to keep our show on the air.
Friends, we've run out of time on today's program. Thank you so much for being with us. Please remember our gospel show on Sunday morning, G4, Channel 14, from 10 to 10:30 Eastern Time, and also our radio show on the American Freedom Network, GE1, Channel 7, 5.8 audio on Sundays from noon until 2 o'clock. Hey, we'll see you on the next show.